What's going on, everyone? So the Denver Nuggets are a big question mark, in my opinion. Now, look, they're still going to be an incredible team this year. Still got Jamal Murray, who he just got a new extension. They still have Jokic, who is still arguably, if not the best player in all of basketball. So they're a team. If they won the championship this year, no one would be shocked. No one would be surprised. Right? Still got Michael Porter Jr. Still got Aaron Gordon, but this is now the second year in a row that they have gotten worse. Fatigue. I mean, you even heard KCP last year talk about fatigue being a thing with these guys. Jamal Murray has not been this model of health the last few years, right? Like, there is this question of, like, does Denver kind of take a step back? Is this the year that, the mighty kind of falls a little bit? I'm not saying that they're going to fall to the point where they're like, a seventh or eighth seed outside of like, some injuries or something, which knock on wood, hopefully that doesn't happen. You never want to see that. But they'll probably still be, top 5 to 6 seed. But with Denver, I wouldn't be shocked, obviously, if they're the 1 seed. I also wouldn't be shocked this year if they're like the 6th seed. Right? Because, like, again, they definitely, there's no argument that they got worse. Right? They did. They got worse. They lost Bruce Brown after winning the championship, and then followed that up with losing KCP. Didn't really replace him, right? KCP was a huge part of this team. Talking about all defense, 3-and-D, perfect, just complimentary role player alongside Michael Porter Jr., alongside, Aaron Gordon and Jamal Murray. He fit in seamlessly. And, again, it's not, they didn't lose Jamal Murray or something like that, but still, like, there's no denying that losing KCP hurts. I mean, so much so, even Mike Malone is now having conflict with the front office. And there's all these reports of him and the front office not seeing eye to eye and them having, little squabbles and stuff. Like, that could very well bleed into the season and become a distraction. And now you got all this noise and all this chaos and all that stuff, right? Like, it's not all sunshines and rainbows for Denver right now. And it's definitely worth at least kind of keeping an eye on kind of the kind of news that comes out of Denver, and Mike Malone and the Denver Nuggets and how their relationship, is there kind of this rift that continues to get created, and all of a sudden you start getting these reports and all this noise of Mike Malone potentially wanting out and maybe looking to go elsewhere as a coach, and get guys like Michael Porter Jr., he wants out, he wants to be traded. I mean, you already have all these talks about Denver looking to trade him this offseason and kind of contemplating that idea. And, it's just, you lost a key piece. You lost a guy that was incredibly impactful for your team, who also was talking about how Nuggets have just been tired and just worn out, right? And your big acquisition was Russell Westbrook. Look, I like Russ. I've always liked Russ. I mean, as a Laker fan, right? I defended Russ. But he's not the guy he once was. As a backup, sure, right? Like, he makes sense to an extent, right? Like, him kind of being that force that can come off the bench and be the playmaker, and Jokic really wanted him, and, okay, but still can't shoot the basketball. All of his issues and concerns are still going to be issues and concerns. Sure, Denver, he's probably the best guy off the bench for Denver in the last few years, right? Like, Bruce Brown definitely is in that conversation, but, Denver hasn't had this, super deep bench the last few years, right? So Westbrook, okay, I don't think it's that big of a deal, right? And they also get a guy that, if Jamal Murray ends up missing some time or whatever, he's a guy that can come in, but, Russell, going from KCP to Russell Westbrook wasn't the answer, right? That wasn't the thing where it's oh, yeah, that's the guy, right? Now, we'll see. Can Russell Westbrook add another, layer and element to this team, right? Give him a little change of pace. I mean, with Jokic's playmaking ability, imagine Westbrook just running around and just getting open and being a cutter and stuff. Man, you could do some stuff with Russ, don't get me wrong, but Again, I don't think he's the answer for the Nuggets. And then now there's a lot of pressure on Christian Brown to really step up and kind of play that KCP role. We keep hearing all offseason, like, Christian Brown, he's the guy. He's the guy that's going to kind of step in and play that KCP role. Christian Brown he's the guy that is going to fix all of their problems, right? And it's just, I don't think, maybe he'll be ready, but he's been a real question mark, right? On the surface, 6'6", athletic, play shooting guard, small forward, versatile, right? Guy that give you, in a limited role, was giving you, basically 7 and 4 off the bench, right? You look at his 3-point percentage, shot 38%, but on 2 attempts last year, right? So the problem is you just don't have this huge sample size of whether he can do it or not. But the problem isn't necessarily the regular season. Christian Brown help you in the regular season? Sure. It's always possible. But the playoffs is where he just folds. I mean, folds. His first playoff season, right, his rookie season, in the 19 games he played, he averaged 13 minutes per game. He shot 20% from three-point range, and then shot 22% from three-point range last season. Right? Like, that's not going to cut. He had, there was, a stretch where he hadn't made a three in, 11 straight playoff games, something crazy like that. Like, he was just terrible shooting the three. So, and if you're going from him to KCP, who has been one of the premier 3-and-D guys. I don't personally think that Christian Brown is the answer. Now, maybe, you never know, right? Maybe he gets the starting spot, he gets an expanded role, he gets kind of more of an opportunity, right? Takes it serious, he locks in, continues to just have that growth. He's going into year 3, all of that. Is it possible? Sure. Absolutely. I don't want to put a ceiling on a young guy. No, I don't want to say he's cooked, right? No. This is a guy that I do think could potentially fill that void. But there's also there's also the part that's he's just not ready. He's just probably best as a backup, or he's best in that limited 15 to 20 minute role, right? And then that could end up developing into a problem, right? But again, like I said, this isn't the team that we saw from the championship run. They definitely got worse, as I mentioned, but still going to be very good. Right? As long as you have Jokic and Jamal Murray, you're still going to be very good. You're still going to be a force. Right? I don't see them, like I said, dropping it out of the playoffs or anything like that. I don't see anything like that. But I could see them, again, kind of regressing slightly. I could see them maybe potentially taking a step back or two and going from a team that, was the fighting for a 1 seed to maybe they're 5th or 6th or something like that. Again, I'd like to see this team continue to be great, right? A lot of people believe that they're going to be this powerhouse, but same breath, I can see them regressing. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you think that no, they'll be fine? Denver, you're still not just gonna beat Denver, right? Do you think no, hey, they definitely did regress. They definitely took a step back. Are you kind of in the camp of let's wait and see, right? Again, like I said, the Laker fan of me doesn't want them to be good, right? And a lot of that is because of Mike Malone, not really the players. But, the basketball fan of me, I want them to be as good as possible because I want as much competition as possible. I want as many good teams as possible. So, the more good teams we have, the better basketball we get, right? The better playoffs we get, all those things, right? But, you see teams kind of take that dip. and they haven't really been looking to make a splash or do anything like that. This season could potentially be that kind of wake-up call that's like, all right, we do need to make a splash. Or we need to do something. We're not good enough. Right? Where, they could argue, hey, we were up 20 in Game 7 against the Wolves and probably back in the NBA Finals. And we just won the championship, right? Like, let's be patient here. So, I don't know. Well, time will tell. But, again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.